Hello and welcome to another SoulLink spawner tutorial video. This is going to be part of our tips and tricks series for the monthly newsletter that comes out. So this will be the first tips and tricks video for SoulLink spawner. Okay, so what we want to do here is allow you to take just the spawning system and any AI system and add a loot system. So if your AI system doesn't have any way to, drop loot when it dies, this is just an easy way you can create a simple script that I will provide the code for, that when the AI dies, then it can spawn some loot objects that could be picked up. It could be ammo, weapons, whatnot. All right, so first of all, I am using the a version of the beta. I don't remember which version I have right now. Yeah, an older version for this project, but no big deal. This will also work for the store version. So I am using, except for this player spawner, which I'm using is in the beta, but it's just not important for the purposes of this demo. So what I'm going to just go ahead and run this and see what we have. Alright, so the spawn the player, and it's going to spawn some enemies. And I killed him. And nothing happens when they die. And that's where we're going to change that. Okay. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to go into my scripts folder, and I'm going to just create a new script called loot spawner. We'll bring that up. I'm going to keep this really simple. You can take this sample script and you can make it do even more things that I'm not showing here. I'm just going to do the most basic, which is just create a list of things that can spawn, and it'll spawn them always automatically. You could change that so that each item had a probability to spawn. You could add sounds when they spawn, or particle effects, or things like that. I just want to get you started so you can see how this would work. First thing is we just get rid of everything inside here. And I'm going to add the Magic SoulLink namespace because we're going to access the spawner through this. I'm going to keep this script simple, just make everything public. And we're just going to make a list of transforms. Just call it loot. Okay. And we add an despawned. On despawned method. Now this method will, if this script is attached to your AI, when an AI dies and despawns, it will automatically call this. You don't have to assign it to any event handler or anything. So all we're going to do here is for each item in loot, we're going to use the global class to spawn, and it gives us the object, so we're going to say the item itself, position, we'll just say at 0. We might have to adjust this if it ends up like spawning in the ground or something. So we'll use 0, rotation, I don't think these are all required. Let me just double check. Nope, they are required. Okay. So we're going to use quaternion identity, so that's just the default. And the parent, we don't need a parent. It'll just spawn it into the scene. That's really all there is to this. As far as the script goes, again, if we want to have sounds and things like that, we could add a public field here. In fact, I might add to this after. Let's just go ahead and do the next step. That compile. So one thing we need to do is, since we're using the player spawner, we're using this player prefab. So on that, I'm going to add, oops, sorry, not the player prefab. We are using this AI shooter AI prefab. So on that, we're going to add the loot spawner. I did something not right here. It's not showing. What did I do wrong here? Huh, wonder why that didn't show up. Let's serialize this just to see. Maybe that's why. I think that should have worked. Okay, not sure why that didn't show up because it was public, but okay. Let's add two different items here. Now the SoulLink, I do have, I don't have anything for loot, do I? Let's see. See if I created anything. Well, let's create something. Go ahead and create a very simple object. Make it a cube. This will be loot 1. Make it a rigid body so it can respond to gravity and so forth and be kicked around. Okay. What kind of materials do I have I can change it to? I have a yellow material. Let's use that. I'll make that a prefab. I'm going to create another one now. Make this one a sphere. Call it loot 2. And make that also yellow, I guess. Well, what else do we have? Any plain colors? Statue red, nah. Oh, here's just a red, we'll go with that. Okay, what else did we do? Rigid body, right? Okay, call that loot 2. Okay, so now we have two loots, a little cube and a sphere. And for our AI, let's go back and select that again. To our list, we're going to go ahead and put those items in there. Other thing you can do is have like quantity of loot, like say, oh, it's going to spawn these, and it could be multiple quantities of them. The other thing is in the pool manager itself, since this is something we want to spawn manually, not through the spawner itself, we're going to add a category called loot, and then select that category. And we're going to go loot 2, doesn't matter what order we do them in. Quantity, that's fine. I don't need to worry about the quantity here for this demonstration. Okay, so now we have the loot 1, loot 2 in the pool manager. So they should be spawnable now. Let's just go ahead and try it. It should work right now. Okay, did not work. So something didn't work there. What did we do wrong? Do have the loot. Let's run this real quick and we'll take a look at the AI when they spawn. Make sure I added that correctly. Okay, shooter clone does have a loot spawner. Well, let's do some debugging. We're going to go in here and see if we're getting into this function when it despawns. Okay. Oh, I know what I did wrong. It did spawn them. They're probably somewhere at 0 location. Okay, so we need to make it so it is a child of the object that, well, at least the location of the object that's dying. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So instead of spawning this at vector 0, we're going to take the game object, transform position, which will be the world position of the object that we just killed. Okay, that should probably work. And again, we might have to spawn it up in the air a little bit, so let's just see how this goes. Oh, there we go. Okay, those are like big spawns. I didn't realize they were going to be so big. But they are there. And because they were spawning in the ground, that made them like really reactive. So let's go ahead and change the scale of these. Make them a quarter size. And I will go ahead and change the location here. I'm going to create a variable spawn position. It's going to be equal to a new vector. I'm going to use the current position, X, but we're going to make it up a little higher than where it is, like by 0.5. And then we'll say that's the spawn position. Now this value 0.5 could be a parameter, for instance, to an offset value that you put up here in your loot spawner. Go. And they spawn nicely. All right, let's make it a little more advanced now. Let's do a sound effect. to make an audio clip. Call it sound effect. We're going to change this to require component audio source. And then on despawn, we're going to say if the sound effect is not equal to null, then we're going to get the audio source component. Going to assign the clip the sound effect. Actually, let's simplify this. In our awake method, we're going to assign the clip already, so it'll already be set. And here we're just going to play it. I don't know what kind of sound effects we have in this project. We'll see what we can do. Alright, we need to get to the AI again. Oops. Okay, so it's got the audio source now. Sound effect, what do we have here? Ben Sound Epic. I have no idea what that is. This looks a little long though. Explosion? A? We'll go with explosion. Why not? Let's see how that looks, or sounds, I should say. Okay, that was not what we wanted. What happened there was this audio source said play on awake. Bad idea. Okay, so now we know what it'll sound like when we spawn it. Okay. I did not hear it. I'm not sure why we did not hear that. Okay. I think the problem here is we're despawning, and so the entire object is going to be deactivated before the sound can actually play. So let's see, what can we do about that? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of a SoulLink feature that is little known. It's something that is used more in the AI system, but definitely useful in the spawner system. So you're going to learn definitely a new tip here. We have in the global SoulLink Global, we have a play sound. This is a play sound that's independent of the object or any audio source. It handles that for you. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to change our loot spawner to not require an audio source. Don't need it anymore. And we don't need to do this yet. We don't need this awake here. But we are going to say SoulLink Global Instance Play Sound. Now it requires a sound data object, so we can just create that right here. And we set the audio clip to the sound effect. We don't need to do audio clip name. That's if you're using something like a master audio integration and it uses string names instead of clips, which we don't have enabled, so we don't need that. We're going to say sound is 3D is true. And we're going to say sound min range, make it 5 so you don't have to be too close to hear it. And max range is going to be equal to maybe just 10. And we don't need to set the other parameters at all. I'm missing something. What am I missing? Play position. So we're going to use that. Oh, let's move it down here so we can use the spawn position as the play position. Alright, now that should work. So you're learning two tips and tricks in this video. And there you have it. Alright, for just one more adjustment we're going to make, we're going to go ahead and do a quantity. Let's see, we'll just say quantity each. Actually, we'll say quantity each just to simplify this. So we'll do a little loop here. Sorry. I'm going to actually make it a little bit different here. Give it a little bit of a randomness to the spawning, so it's not like, otherwise they're kind of get stacked on top of each other and might get some really strange results. So let's do offset X. Going to randomize that from 0 to 1. And offset Z. And offset, let's do the Y as well. Also going to put a randomness to make it negative or not. So if we get a result less than 50, we're going to multiply times -1. Same for the Y. And Z. But we want to do this more for every item. So let's move this down. That means this spawn position is invalid. So we're just going to set this to the game object transform position. Sound can come from the center of the object and it won't matter. Okay, so in this case we're going to set this to X plus offset X, y plus offset y, and z plus offset z. Take a look at how that looks. Now we should get, like, if I change the quantity of the spawn, let's make it 3 of each. We should get 3 items of each in kind of random positions, spawning. Should look pretty cool. Okay, I made one mistake. We don't want the y to be negative. We don't want it going underground. And we're going to actually do minimum of 0.5. Alright, try that again. There we go. We could probably even go higher. Something did not work there. I wonder what that happened with that one. Oh, got it. Now we got an error here that says failed to spawn loot 2 because it could not fetch instances. Okay, so what we had there is we set up our pool and we said you can only have 5 of these. But we can check this grow capacity so that it can add to the pool if it runs out. Or we could increase this number a lot, but there's another tip for you. But let's, before we do this, let's make this now a minimum of 1 for the y, so it's up in the air more. Lots of loot. Yeah, if we don't hear the sound, it's because we only gave a range of 10, so. Okay, let's reload. I don't know how I didn't kill him, but. Oh, I died. Alright, that's all I'm gonna do for this. This code here, I will go ahead and keep that. That will go into the newsletter, so you can copy that and use that. And thanks for watching.